Indonesia is a beautiful country with a rich culture and history. It's a place where many heroes have emerged, each with their own unique story of bravery and selflessness. One of these heroes is Kartini. She is best known for her advocacy for women's education and empowerment in Indonesia during the Dutch colonial period. She believed that education was the key to women's liberation, and that women should have the same opportunities as men to pursue their interests and contribute to society. I just want to apologize beforehand for all the names I'm about to butcher, but I'll try my best. Ibu Kartini, full name Raden Ajeng Kartini, was born into an aristocratic family on April 21st, 1879. In Jepara, Central Java, Indonesia. At that time, Indonesia was still under Dutch colonial rule, and traditional Javanese customs dictated that girls were not allowed to receive formal education beyond learning domestic skills, such as cooking, cleaning, and sewing. Kartini's father became Bupati, or regent, for the Regency of Jepara after originally being the district chief of Mayong. Her mother was Kartini's father's first wife, but not his most important one. At this time, polygamy was a common practice among the nobility. Colonial regulations required regents to marry a member of the nobility. Since Kartini's mother was not of sufficiently high nobility, after this second marriage, Kartini's father was elevated to Bupati of Jepara. Kartini was the fifth child and the second eldest daughter in a family of 11, including half-siblings. She was born into a family with strong intellectual tradition. Her grandfather became regent at the age of 25. Kartini's family allowed her to attend school until she was 12 years old. After she turned 12, she was secluded at home, which was a common practice among female Javanese nobles to prepare them for wedlock. During seclusion, girls were not allowed to leave their parents' house until they were married. Kartini's father was more lenient than some during his daughter's seclusion, giving her such privileges as embroidery lessons and occasional appearances in public for special events. Kartini continued to self-educate herself. She was fluent in Dutch and acquired several Dutch pen pals. Books, newspapers, and European magazines fed her interest in Europe, and feminist thinking and overall fostered a desire to improve the conditions of indigenous Indonesian women, which at the time had a very low social status. Kartini gained an understanding of the importance of education and began to advocate for women's education in Indonesia. In 1899, at the age of 20, Kartini's father allowed her to attend a Dutch school for native girls. There she learned more about Western culture and education. However, at the age of 24, Kartini was forced to give up her studies and marry a nobleman, as was the custom of her time. Kartini's parents arranged her marriage to the regent of Rembang, who already had 3 wives. She was wed on the 12th of November in 1903. She detested the marriage proposal at first, but her husband understood her aspirations and allowed her to establish a women's school on the eastern porch of Rembang's Regency office complex. Inspired by Kartini's example, the Van Deventer family established the R.A. Kartini Foundation, which built schools for women, starting in 1912 with Kartini schools in Semarang and followed by other women's schools in Surabaya, Yogyakarta, Malang, Madiun, Cirebon, and other areas. Kartini believed that education was the key to women's liberation and equality. She wrote extensively about her beliefs in letters and articles, which she shared with other women in Indonesia, encouraging others to pursue education and to fight against the limitations placed upon them by their society. She dreamed of a world where women could be educated and have the freedom to pursue their passions and interests. She also believed in the importance of preserving Javanese culture and traditions while embracing modern education and values. But Kartini was not only concerned with the emancipation of women, but also with other social justice issues within her society. Kartini saw that the struggle for women to obtain their freedom and legal equality was just part of a wider movement. Kartini's only child, a son, was born on September 13 in 1904. A few days later, on September 17th, Kartini died at the young age of 25. However, her legacy lived on. Her writings were compiled and published after her death in a book called Out of Darkness into the Light in English. Today, Kartini is remembered as a national hero in Indonesia. Her home has been turned into a museum dedicated to her life and legacy, and her birthday, April 21st, is celebrated as Kartini Day, a national holiday. Kartini Day is celebrated every year as a reminder of her contributions to society. On this day, many schools hold events and activities to honor her legacy and to promote women's education and empowerment. There are several movies about Kartini's life. One of the most well-known is a biographical film called Kartini. which was released in 2017. The film tells the story of Kartini's life, from her childhood in Japara to her advocacy for women's education and empowerment. The movie portrays Kartini as a strong and determined woman who was ahead of her time. It highlights the obstacles she faced as a woman in a traditional Javanese society. Kartini's story is a powerful reminder of the struggles and triumphs of women throughout history. Her fight for education and equality paved the way for future generations. Her message is still relevant in today's society, where many girls and women face obstacles in pursuing their education and achieving their full potential. Kartini may have lived a short life, but her impact on Indonesian society and on the world is immeasurable. She remains a symbol of hope and inspiration. Kartini was born into a society that did not value women's education or rights, but she refused to accept that. She taught herself to read and write, and used her voice to advocate for change, and is celebrated as a national hero in Indonesia for it. We can all learn from her determination and courage as we work to break down the barriers that limits people's potential and prevent them from achieving their dreams. Whether we're fighting for women's rights, human rights, or any other cause, we can be inspired by her example and work to create a more just and equal world. As many other stories I've covered, her story serves as a reminder that no matter how difficult the circumstances, one person truly can make a difference in this world. Thank you for watching. Please suggest some stories or cases of heroes from your cities or countries. These stories are really incredible to learn about. Also, if I've covered anything wrong, please correct me. Stay safe.